All right, this is for your midterm review. You have 36 questions on your study guide. We're going to break the videos up into 4 parts. That way, if you're looking for a specific question, you don't have to go looking through an entire video. You can go directly to the video you need. Let's start off with question 1. What's the difference between a food web, food chain, and a food pyramid? Well, a food pyramid is less complex and shows a few organisms and trophic levels. It also shows a food chain, what's on the bottom and what's on the top. A food pyramid also shows a food chain, but a food web is more complex and it's going to show all the trophic levels as well as all the feeding relationships among organisms, where a food pyramid is only going to show a couple feeding relationships. It doesn't show everything. So a food web is more complex and it's going to show all those feeding relationships. All right, number 2, what does the law of conservation of matter state? Well, we have a law of the conservation of matter, and the conservation of matter helps us figure this out. Matter cannot be created or destroyed. It is always going to be the same. It can only be transformed. All right, number 3, compare and contrast autotrophs and heterotrophs, and what are the ecological categories of each? Well, autotrophs create their own food. This would be like plants using photosynthesis or other organisms using chemosynthesis. Autotrophs are known as primary producers. They're usually at the bottom of the food chain, at the bottom of a food web, or at the bottom of a food pyramid. Then we have heterotrophs, which eat autotrophs and other organisms, and we call these consumers. They're having to consume other organisms, consuming food. All right, number 4, how much energy is transferred from one trophic level to the next? And you got to be able to apply this concept. Well, 10% is transferred from one level to the next. If you know that and you don't know how to apply it, that's not going to help you whatsoever. So let's take a look at this practice question. If there's 10,000 units of energy in the first level, how much will be available in the second level? Well, I got to take 10% of 10,000. Because this is a nice round number, all I got to do is move the decimal one place to the left. So here would be my decimal. I move it over, and I wind up with 1,000. So 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. Well, how much will be available in the third level? Well, if I know 1,000 is available on the second level, I can take my decimal, move it to the left one more time, and then I get 100. And you can do that with any number. 10,000 is a random number that we're using, but it could be any number. All right, number 5, only a percentage of energy is transferred from one trophic level to the next. We just did that question. We said it was 10%. Where does the other energy go if energy can neither be created nor destroyed? Well, the rest is given off as heat. All right, number 6, what characteristics would classify each of the following? So we got to look at a herbivore, a carnivore, an omnivore, and a consumer. So let's start with a herbivore. They're going to eat plants, nuts, seeds, roots, and fruit, or one of those, maybe not all of them, or it's just going to eat one of them, no meat. A carnivore is going to hunt and kill and consume its prey. So it's going to hunt, go out, look for its prey, it's going to hunt it, it's going to kill it, and then consume its prey. An omnivore is a combination of a herbivore and carnivore. So it's going to eat one of these things as well as, hunting and killing and consuming its prey. So it's a combination of a herbivore and carnivore, eats both plants and other animals. So how does that relate to consumer? Well, all of these things, a herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore, they're not primary producers, they are consumers. They must consume food to get their energy. All right, number 7, compare and contrast primary and secondary succession. Scientists have done us a huge favor here by using the word primary and secondary. So primary succession is life is beginning for the first time in an area. Now, this could be after all life is wiped out in an area and new species show up, and we call those pioneer species. If we have a giant lava flow that's eliminating all life that was previously there is not going to be able to bounce back. So life is starting there for the first time and new species are coming in. Secondary succession is pretty easy. Life is starting again for the second or more time. So life begins again in an area. So the life that was there will bounce back. That could be after a forest fire, hurricanes, clearing land, whatever. But the life that was there previously will grow back. There is no new life showing up because the life can bounce back after one of these disasters. Okay, number 8, how are enzymes and catalysts related, and how do these impact chemical reactions? Well, catalysts are enzymes. Well, what does that even mean? Well, catalysts speed up chemical reactions because they lower the activation energy needed. For example, the example we talked about is the paper in front of you should catch on fire. Well, the activation energy that it needs is too high. The catalyst would lower that activation energy, and that'd be equivalent to like using a match. So they lower the activation energy, and because the activation energy is lower, the chemical reaction is going to speed up. You don't need as much energy. All right, and the last one for this level, what is pH level and how does one determine an acid versus a base? Well, the pH level ranges from 0 to 14 and measures how acidic or how basic something is. So 0 to 6 are the acids. My strong acids are closer to 0. My weak acids are closer to 6. 8 to 14 are my bases. 14 are closer to 14 are my strong bases. Closer to 8 are my weak bases. So why are my weak acids closer to 6 and my weak bases closer to 8? You may notice a number is missing here, and that is 7. And 7 is neutral, which is pure water. All right, that's it for this one. If you have any questions, please write them down and let me know. And we'll see you guys in the next one.